Good morning, lovelies. Let me just grab a drink of water. Give everyone a minute to be here. Anyone who would like to join. All right, so welcome to day 2 of 6 days of creating magic, part of lockdown phase 2 lockdown in South Australia. What else is possible? What can we create during this time? When I kind of tapped into the energy of this, I really wanted to go deep. Like, even though it's a short 6 days, I really wanted to dive deep, and I wanted the opportunity for you guys to dive deep. So yesterday we did some clearing other people's stuff, just all the baggage, all the crazy going on in the world around us. Today I want to go deep, deep, deep into kind of like the core of you. And as I thought about the energy of this, I was reminded of an experience that I had. If I think back, my spiritual journey, my journey of awakening began in about 1981 or 82. And I spent about 18 years reading a lot of books, really wishing that I could be like these wonderful people that wrote these books, and, the beautiful people that inspired others and, had these amazing epiphanies in their life, and then they shared, this with other people. And I would read these books and I would get so frustrated and so annoyed that what the person was saying in this book didn't work for me. So I always felt like a horrible failure, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't getting it. How can these people do it? And then this just doesn't work for me. I never saw that, it was about me choosing my path, or that I wasn't allowing myself to receive that, or, all the other myriad things that it could have been related to, but it just wasn't working for me. So in about 2000, I discovered my guide, Sonoray, and she worked with me for 7 years. And one of the first things she said to me was, Karen, all of that new age stuff you're doing, she said, that's just a phase. And honestly, I wanted to smack her. I just thought, I was so annoyed that she was so blasé about something that I'd just put 18 years into, that I thought was the be all and end all of everything. But I came to see that she was right. I went beyond all those teachings. And if you think back during that time, you've got to remember, we didn't have internet then. So things move so much faster today. When you guys are going through your transformations, and that is boom, boom, boom. You can get so much information. You have everything at your fingertips. Whereas back then, everything was much more slowly moving, and the transformation, the progression was much slower. And this is also because of consciousness on the planet. As that has increased, of course, time has changed, and what we're able to achieve now in terms of awakening is very, very different to back then, thank goodness. So I was reminded, when I spoke about letting go, I was reminded of one day when my whole life had turned to shit. Basically, everything was crumbling around me. And I went and I was talking to her, and I was walking down this jetty one day. And I remember saying to her, nothing is solid or real anymore. Because it was like everything that I thought was real was no longer real. Everything that I'd held on to and that I'd made important and significant in my life was just crumbling away. And I really felt like it was just me standing there with literally nothing to hold on to. And of course, this was devastating at the time. Well, she just laughed at me and said, now you can see how much people hold on and think they're in control. And I just got angry at her again, because I thought, you don't understand how terrible this is, poor me. But really, she did understand. She realized that I was, moving through this process of letting go. So throughout my teaching years, I've really at different times inspired others to go through this letting go process. And that has sort of happened in various ways. But today we're just doing it through a little kind of visualization thing that I want to do with you guys. I want to read just 2 paragraphs from this book that I wrote, the New Consciousness Book of Ascension. I don't talk about this much anymore because it was a long time ago. It's about 8 years ago that I wrote it. But I just want to share this. So I said, throughout my life, I've always been willing to take huge leaps of faith in the pursuit of enlightenment. I had a deep inner knowingness that I would one day be a teacher, and I had to be willing to dive into the unknown if I was to guide others to do the same. Though my focus never wavered, there were many times I stood shaking in my boots, wondering what on earth I had just set into motion. A few times as my life crumbled around me, I experienced what I refer to as the circle of light, a metaphor for a space of release and rejuvenation where all that is old and of the past falls away. You can't take anything into the circle with you. You must stand alone. You must stand with nothing. That sends shivers through my spine now, just thinking about that moment that I kind of went through at that time, and that sense of, like being in the void. And, people talk about the void and stuff like that, but it's when you're in it, it feels, it's just so intense. And that sense of having to let go of everything that you have held dear is pretty intense. So I want you guys to kind of get a sense of that void today, and that opportunity to kind of let go of all of the stuff that you're holding on to. This is the deeper stuff. This is the stuff that's harder to let go of. So come for this little ride for me today. It's a fairly quick thing that we'll do today, but you'll be able to kind of tap into the energy of that and let that expand in your daily life. So, all right, I'm going to get you to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And just lower all your barriers, letting go, letting go, letting go. Lowering all your barriers, letting everything drop into the earth. And just expanding out as bigger than the universe. Really tapping into that infinite being you truly be. And just imagine, let's go for a walk along that jetty. This is a really long jetty, by the way. Let's go for a walk along that jetty. And just imagine that as you're walking down the jetty, you're carrying all your baggage. Like you've got suitcases and backpacks, and like you're fully loaded. What you can't actually carry in your hands is just attached to you anyway. Like you're fully loaded. And you're walking down this jetty, and this is all your stuff, and this is all... this is stuff like your job that you think is so important that, if you didn't have it, you wouldn't have money and then you couldn't survive, etc. Your family, people that you love and care for, and all their baggage, material possessions, friends, everything. This is all the baggage, all the stuff that you think is important to you in your life. You're carrying that all down this jetty. And as you walk along the jetty, this breeze kind of picks up and it kind of gets stronger and stronger. And so as you're walking, you start to drop some of these suitcases, and some of the stuff that is kind of stuck to you is just starting to fling off. And the wind kind of gets stronger and stronger. And it's going to allow you to release everything that you're willing to let go of. And I want you to think for a moment about some of that stuff. As I said, your job, like think about your job for a moment. Are you willing to actually let that go? Now, as a reminder, when you let something go, what you're doing is you're releasing the energetic attachment to it. Doesn't mean you have to go out and quit your job. It means that you just surrender to it. You just let it go. You release all hold that it has on you or you have on it. You allow it to just be, so that if it disappears tomorrow, it's okay. You know you're going to be okay. Everything will be fine. You can just let it go. Everywhere that you've placed that attachment to money on your job, just let go of all of that as well. And just imagine as all this baggage and all this stuff is just releasing and just being blown away by the wind. Just thinking about some of those things that sort of come up, your attachment to your family, the people that you love so much, your partner, your husband, your wife, your cat, your dog, whatever, your children. Just let them all go. Everything you're willing to let go of. And as some of you, I can feel that energy come up when you think about letting go of a child or a partner. It's like, well, what would I do without them, or what would they do without me? But if you release the energetic attachment, you actually set them free and yourself. So everything you're willing to let go of. And if you're not willing or ready to let go of it all right now, that's fine. Let go of everything that you are willing to let go of. And you can let go of the other stuff later when you're ready. Let go of all your material possessions, everything that you own. Just let it all go. Everything that represents that is attached to you, just let it all go. Let it all float off. Let it all fly off in the wind. Or your attachment to other people, things, places, anything at all. Just letting it all go. Relationships. That relationship that you think is so important. Just let it go. And as you reach the end of the jetty, you'll notice that the baggage is gone. You've let all that baggage go. And you can add any of it back later, so don't freak out if you choose. But just allowing in this moment that you've let it all go. And notice that as you stand there, it's sort of started to become quite grey, quite dark. As the sun's falling, the sunset, it's getting grayer. It's losing colour, and you kind of go into that void where you're just standing there, and you have nothing. And there's that feeling of, who am I? Why am I here? What do I have if I don't have all this stuff? Who am I to other people if I don't have all this stuff? Maybe some of that stuff was an illness. Maybe you identify with having a particular illness or ailment. What would it be like if you actually didn't have that? So just letting all of that go, and now allowing yourself just to stay in that void for a moment, just that place of complete nothingness. You have absolutely nothing. And you're just standing there, but you have you. So you've let go of all the external stuff. You've let go of all the energetic attachments, but you still have you. You will always have you. And then just allow yourself to be in that space for a moment. And notice as the sun keeps going down, it's getting darker and darker. And then you start to notice that the moon, this big fat moon, is shining in the sky, and the clouds are starting to clear. And the night becomes really, really dark, but really clear. Like the stars are really clear. The clouds are completely gone. And where the moon is shining on you, there is like this circle of light around you. And you start to recognize that you're not really alone, that you don't really have nothing, that in just being you, you have everything that you will ever require. You are everything. You be everything. You don't actually require anything else. So just allow yourself to feel in that space for a moment. it's kind of like, you know, being in the cocoon, just kind of being alone, being without anything, perhaps being unable to move, perhaps feeling restricted, and then sort of coming into that light, breaking free of the chains, and recognizing that when you let go of everything, you have absolute freedom. There's nothing that can hold you back. There's nothing that can hold you down. There's no one or no thing that can ever really hurt you or impact you so significantly, because you always have that awareness that of who you are, and that you always have that, and that you can't change that. It's just who you be, that infinite being. So let me know in the chat later after the call, not the chat, what do you call it, like post underneath. Let me know how you found that experience. I'd really love to know how you found it. We went through it fairly quickly today, but you know, just what I would like you to do, what I would recommend that you do over the next few days, just as you're walking around and you're doing your thing. Oh, that's right, you're only going to be walking around your house, but that's okay. As you walk around your house, just look at something. So I let go of that. You know, look at your car. Okay, let go of my car. Let go of my kitchen. Let go of my house. Let go of my garden. Let go of, you know, it might be a certain person that you have in your life or whatever. Just walk around and acknowledge, I let go of that. 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 And as you let go of each thing, just kind of get the sense of just giving it up, just gifting it to the universe energetically. Because in doing that, what you're doing is you're releasing an energetic attachment to it, and you're saying, energetically, you're saying that you're choosing to tap into that infinite being that you are, and that you're choosing to go into so much trust for yourself that you're willing to let go of all the accoutrements of this reality, and trust that as an infinite being, that you are completely capable of you're completely capable of creating something amazing for yourself. So, yeah, just let me know how you go with that. And allow that void to be a space. It's almost like a transition point into the next phase, into the beyond. So have fun with that, guys. Let go of everything that you possibly can, but everything is best, because you're really going to get some great results with that. There might be a little bit of kicking and screaming and carry on, because shit gets real sometimes when you let go of everything. But if you're willing to stay in that space of absolute trust for yourself, and if you're willing to just be in that space and just let go of the drama, let go of the reactions and all the stuff that are perhaps part of reality, maybe for you at this point, and just let go, let go, let go of everything. And because tomorrow we have another little adventure as part of our 6-day journey. I'm not going to say what that is yet. Let's just see what we create on the day. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Let go of everything, let go of everything, let go of everything. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.